What is going on, guys? It's Modded Warfare here. Welcome back to another PS5 update video. So yeah, I can't seem to get away from this right now. After my last update video that basically explained that there is a PS5 jailbreak out there from the Flow, who went ahead and posted a screenshot showing the debug settings enabled on his PS5 on firmware version 4.03. PS5's got a weird firmware version number, but it's technically like 21.02-04.03. We're just calling it 4.03 now, I suppose, to make it simple. But yeah, that's essentially the latest firmware for the PS5. So I covered that in my previous video, but I guess I put my video out a bit too early because later that day, we got another tweet from the hacking group Fail Overflow, who also hacked the PS5. They posted out a screenshot showing that they have decrypted a firmware file for the PS5, a PS5 update file, which apparently is the latest update, again, 4.03. And in this case, they essentially said that they have got the symmetric PS5 root keys. So that's the encryption and decryption keys for the PS5 so that they can, you know, encrypt and decrypt PS5 files. They have access to all of that. Not only that, but they apparently obtained these completely through software. Now, Fail Overflow are typically a group that they do quite a lot of hardware level hacking stuff. They've done a lot of hardware stuff for the PS4 in the past, bringing attention to this whole Syscon and S-Flash hacks to do with being able to revert your firmware versions on the PS4. I covered that a while back as well, the whole revert method. They kind of opened the door to that method through their blog. So often when they come up with these hacks, they post them on their blog and do full write-ups of them. But in this case, they haven't mentioned anything about disclosing how they were able to do this. But it's just insane that we have like two hacks at the same time from two separate people. One, the well-known hacking group Fail Overflow. They've also, you know, hacked the PS3 in the past. I think they were like the first group to do it. And they've also, you know, got Linux running on many other consoles in the past. That tends to be what they do as well. If they manage to jailbreak a system, like the PS4, for example, their next step usually is to try and run Linux on it. And then once they get Linux running on it, you'll usually see them at some kind of convention, some kind of hacking convention, doing a talk showing how they got Linux running on the machine. That's typically what they do. So that could be the next step for what we see from Fail Overflow. It's unlikely they'll just put this information out there. But other times in the past, they've waited for the vulnerability to be patched before they will then disclose the information. So again, it's unlikely that they're just going to, you know, drop all the information on their blog anytime soon. We'll probably have to wait until it gets patched in a new firmware. So obviously, if you're wanting a PS5 jailbreak, if you're waiting for a PS5 jailbreak, do not update your system past 4.03 because, you know, more than likely it will be patched in the next update. Unless this exploit is so big that it's something that even Sony is not able to fix or has a hard time fixing. It might not just be the same as PS4 where they could just patch these kernel exploits and WebKit exploits and updates fairly easily. In this case, depending on how they've done this, it could be a lot harder for them to patch it. For example, you know, they might be taking advantage of some kind of AMD exploit that's like hard-coded in the system, something that they're not able to easily patch. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But just thought I would give you a quick update on this. Obviously, I already did a video on the Flow's tweet showing that he essentially jailbroke the PS5. But obviously later that day, after I already put out the video, we got this whole thing from Fail Overflow. So I just wanted to put out a little quick PSA there to let you guys know about this. Obviously, there's lots of other YouTubers and big channels and stuff have already covered this now at this point. But just in case for some reason you missed any of that, just wanted to go ahead and let you guys know. So yeah, really, really crazy that we've had essentially two confirmed exploits. Now, apparently, they've not been working together so far. From what I've heard, Modern Vintage Gamer contacted the Flow and confirmed it with him that this was not done, you know, as a project together. They weren't working together. Now, they could still be using the same sort of vulnerability. They just maybe exploited them using different methods. Again, the likelihood is that this stuff is not going to be released, at least not for a while yet. Obviously, with the Flow, he said he has no plans for release. Fail Overflow have not mentioned anything about releasing this. And as we've seen from them in the past, they wait for things to get patched before, you know, posting a write-up on their site. And obviously, they usually try and get Linux running on the machine first, which is kind of what I would expect to see from them next. And then obviously, of course, the Flow, we don't know if he's reported his vulnerability to Sony or not. So that could be the other thing. If he's going through the HackerOne bug bounty program, then he will not be able to release any of this information. Sony will have to release it if he requests disclosure at some point, but that could be, you never know. It could be months and months or even a year or longer before any of this stuff comes out. So we'll just have to wait and see. But I just wanted to give you guys a little update on that, on everything that's going on. Crazy times. I haven't heard much about the PS4. There's still this big thing that's supposedly coming, but, you know, we don't really have any more information to add on that, other than the fact that Al Azov has updated the payloads to support 8.50 and 9.00, so that if a new jailbreak comes out, you can run those payloads and everything should be good. You'll be able to run them straight away instead of having to wait for them to be updated once a jailbreak comes out. Does that mean that Al Azov actually has inside knowledge about a new jailbreak coming out? Not necessarily. This was just probably done just in case a new exploit comes out, which is essentially the same thing Al Azov did when the 7.55 jailbreak was kind of in the works, but hadn't really been fully figured out yet. But at that point, Al Azov knew that there was a jailbreak coming. Could this mean that Al Azov knows there's a jailbreak coming? Possibly, but, you know, either way, the payloads are ready now, just in case we do get some kind of new jailbreak for the PS4. So still waiting to hear more from that, but so far the news seems to be dominated by the PS5 exploit going on right now. Two exploits in one day is pretty insane. So there also seems to be a lot of vulnerabilities being discovered in AMD's hardware right now, sort of Ryzen chips and EPYC and all of that kind of stuff. So it wouldn't surprise me if some of these PS5 hacks have something to do with AMDs, with some of these AMD vulnerabilities. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see with all of that stuff though, but just wanted to give you guys that little update. So hope you enjoyed it or found the information useful. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. Crazy times. We'll see you guys in the next one.